Tonight on Newsbeat, how a self-defense class is trying to restore confidence on campus.
And later, how the founder of Cane's is trying to remember Black History Month might surprise you.
And finally, we have an inside look at last night's win for the LSU women's basketball team.
All this and more, Newsbeat starts right now. Hello and welcome back to Newsbeat. I'm Rachel Handley.
And I'm Trey Cuvion. Thanks for joining us. Family and friends continue to mourn the tragic loss of Baton Rouge Police Corporal Shane Toddy. The 31-year-old was escorting a funeral procession early Friday afternoon along Jones Creek Road when he was involved in a crash with a truck. He died hours later at the hospital. Today, wreaths were laid for Toddy outside of Baton Rouge Police's Fallen Heroes Memorial. His name will soon be added to it. Toddy survived a shooting last year while on duty, and after recovering, he was transferred to BRPD's Motor Division. Flags in Baton Rouge will continue to fly half-staff in the officer's honor until he's buried. The funeral services will take place on Thursday.
An LSU PD offered a women's self-defense class at the UREC Thursday to educate students on how to handle potential threats.
LSU PD K-9 officers Kim Bass and David Hansen hosted the Equalizer self-defense class to provide tips to women on ways to protect themselves. Students learned about items they can carry on campus for protection and proper self-defense techniques. In light of the incidents on campus last week, LSU PD has seen an increase in requests for self-defense classes.
Bass and Hansen informed students on the importance of staying off of their phones while walking around campus. This was the second class of the new year, and classes will be held every 2 weeks at the UREC until the end of the semester.
The goal of the Equalizer class is to teach those self-defense techniques, and it gives the girls, the young ladies, that confidence.
Students can view the daily crime log on LSU PD's website for more information on incidents occurring around campus.
Personal safety isn't the only thing worrying students on campus. Leaking water in the basement of Middleton Library has some students nervous about losing important books and documents. It's been leaking since November and has steadily increased each month. Some materials were moved to prevent water damage. And while the basement isn't closed, some students say they've had to stand in puddles while they're studying. The university says they're looking for a long-term solution.
And on the first night of February, many summer scholars, members of a transitional program from high school to college for high-achieving minority students, gathered at the Chimes on Highland to eat great food and to celebrate the retirement of their coordinator, Mrs. Annette Yancey. It was complete with hugs, gifts, and pictures galore. Yancey has been working for LSU for 30 years and took over the job as Summer Scholars Coordinator in 2009, and she looks forward to her new job in the city. She can't help feeling like she's leaving her summer scholars behind, but appreciates the time she's spent with them.
To all my students, especially my summer scholars, and the students that I had the pleasure of advising, it's been a wonderful journey. As Maya Angelou would say, I wouldn't take nothing for my journey now, and I'm looking forward to my next career with the city. And I'm looking forward to meeting wonderful new people there. But thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity.
Yancey doesn't know what her new job has in store for her, but she's excited and hopes it involves talking and making connections with people.
In conjunction with Black History Month, a unique piece of history is now on display in Baton Rouge, and it was brought here by a well-known businessman. Martin Luther King Jr.'s hearse is now on display at the Capitol Park Museum in downtown Baton Rouge. The hearse was recently purchased by Todd Graves, the owner and founder of Raising Cane's Chicken. It will be on display at the museum for an entire year before it makes its way to other spots around the country. Graves says it was important to him to preserve Martin Luther King Jr.'s history and message, which has ties to Baton Rouge and the very beginning of the civil rights movement.
This hearse represents Dr. King's ultimate sacrifice and what he gave for such a cause is so important, promoting civil rights, and I'm excited to be able to bring it to Baton Rouge, put it here in the Capitol Park Museum, and anybody in Baton Rouge can come see it from anywhere and come in and see this hearse. You know, it's that sobering reminder that he died for this, and that I think we've come a long way since his time, but we have a long way to go, so we can all do our part and make this a better country.
Tune in to next Tuesday's Newsbeat, where we'll have an up-close look at the hearse and the history behind it.
And the LSU women's basketball team broke their 2-game losing streak last night, defeating the Missouri Tigers by a final score of 61-51. The win last night was much needed for the Lady Tigers after suffering a devastating 35-68 loss to Mississippi State last Thursday. Last night was a big night for senior guard Shanice Norton, who scored her 500th career point as a Tiger. Head coach Nikki Fargas was pleased with the effort her team gave against Missouri.
Well, I hope this team understands that there's a certain way you need to play every night, and tonight we really got after a really good offensive team with our defensive effort. We were able to go to our press and extend the lead through our defense.
After the win, the Lady Tigers improved their overall record to 13-8. Up next, the Lady Tigers will host Arkansas this Thursday. Tip-off is set for 8 p.m.
The Jaguar exhibit at the Audubon Zoo in New Orleans is back open after an animal escaped, killing several other animals. The habitat closed following Valerio's escape last year. Now, Valerio is one of the zoo's jaguars. He killed 8 animals and injured several others during his escape. Luckily, no people were hurt. Valerio's updated enclosure now features woven stainless steel barriers, welded door panels, and even a camera monitoring system. Audubon Zoo Vice President and General Curator Joel Hamilton says that they've gone above and beyond safety protocols for the habitat. He's confident that the zoo is a safe place to come visit after months of extensive research and repairs. After the break, it's the Chinese New Year, and we have an inside look of how LSU students decided to celebrate in style.
Don't go anywhere.
Well, President Trump is preparing to deliver his second State of the Union address this evening, and he'll face a very different audience on Capitol Hill.
Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats control the House chamber this time, and the president has also been facing challenges from his own Republican Party on key foreign policy issues. President Trump's address comes on the heels of the longest government shutdown in U.S. history, and as a bipartisan group of congressional negotiators tries to craft a bill to avert another.
Some of the issues that will likely be addressed include the border wall and issues with Venezuela.
And today isn't just the State of the Union address, it's also Chinese New Year. To ring in the Lunar New Year, the Chinese Students and Scholars Association put on their annual Spring Festival Gala. Tiger TV reporter Carla Yakel has more on what the Year of the Pig has in store.
Last year is fanned away by dancers at the Spring Festival as guests and organizer Zheng Qiao await the fortunes the new year will bring.
We value the opportunity to join together for a activity or with friends, family members to talk about things will happen in the future or the next year, and give them good words to memorize this moment.
The Lunar New Year is widely celebrated and the biggest holiday in China. Over 500 people attended the showcase in the LSU Union Sunday night. It was a colorful celebration of Chinese culture. The performances included traditional dancing, music, and martial arts.
My favorite part is Kung Fu. When we see them and I can feel the Kung Fu is very powerful and I very like it.
Lunar celebrations are focused around family and the exchanging of gifts. Lucky money is given in red envelopes to transfer fortune from one generation to the next.
Just for a good expectation to the younger generation, maybe from grandpa, grandma, or father, mother, they will give their children or child a red envelope with money. Yeah.
This is Carla Yakel with Tiger TV Newsbeat.
Each year has an assigned zodiac animal. 2019 is the year of the pig, but unfortunately for the pigs out there, your zodiac year is considered to be unlucky. Coming up, how New Orleans' favorite is spreading to Baton Rouge.
We'll tell you what when we come back.
Welcome back, and listen up, seafood lovers. A new restaurant is almost here. Drago's Seafood is planning on opening a new restaurant in Baton Rouge. Known for their charbroiled oysters, the owners are looking to open near Constitution Avenue, near College Drive and Interstate 10. While the deal isn't complete, the owners say they're optimistic about a Baton Rouge location.
Well, that's all the time we have tonight. For more news, you can keep up with us on TigerTV.tv and on our social media pages. And for Tiger TV, I'm Trey Cuvion.
And I'm Rachel Handley. Thanks for joining us and have a great night, Tigers.